Tom, can you put your dick away, please?
What?
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Apartment A3 podcast. Hey, I don't know. I still do it that way.
What?
The podcast. I don't know. I go
Podcast. Oh my god, this is way too hot.
It's really hot and it's a little bitter. Sorry.
I like bitter coffee.
Do you? I don't love it, but it's okay.
I like
It'll
bitter.
be good.
The bitterness gives it that kick.
It-
You get a kick.
But is that a good kick?
It's a pretty good kick.
Yeah.
I think so.
Typically not a bitter fan. People's like, oh, dark chocolate's great. Is it?
I don't like dark chocolate.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah, dark chocolate's not for me. Too chalky.
I've had, like, it's gross, creamier dark chocolate.
Creamier dark chocolate?
Creamier dark chocolate, but it's still, like, I don't like the bitter.
I don't like it. It's like too dry for me. I like the milk.
So my parents were just in Europe. They did the cruise down the Rhine River. Mm-hmm. They were there for like 2 weeks, and they went to Paris and they went to I think Amsterdam is where they flew into, and they did a bunch of other stuff. And they brought me back some chocolate from Paris, and they bought me. It's like a bag of this cocoa mix.
They went to Amsterdam?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Man, you should let me know that.
It's not gonna. Yeah, they're not muling anything back for you, Tom.
Well, no, they could have enjoyed themselves with a cappuccino or something like that, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's legalized as shit over there.
Cappuccino?
Marijuana.
Oh, yeah, that's not their speed. My dad might have like tried to go to Woodstock, but I don't think it's his deal anymore. But they brought me back this like cocoa powder. It's like a hot chocolate mix.
Cacao.
Right, but it's spelled with K's.
That's kind of cool.
But it's like Aztec. So it's like Aztec chocolate from
That's awesome.
like South America, Central America.
Yeah.
But it's from Paris.
I miss travel, dude.
But it was like a chocolate shop. So that's what I was going to say. Like, somebody was saying this to me the other day. Like, do you like to travel? I'm like, I like to travel. I just don't get to do it often. And we've talked about this a bunch of times on the show. Like,
yeah.
I would love to travel more, but I kind of live vicariously through my parents. It's like, oh, how was Europe? Oh, it was pretty. Took a few pictures. Your dad's phone it's out of memory. I'm like, okay, all right, that's good. That's nice. That's fun. But rather than coming home with like, do you remember old school slideshows when they actually had like a slide projector?
Yeah.
I had like one family that was a family friend of ours that would do that. They'd come back with, here's Hawaii. I'm like, nobody cares. But now, but I'll tell you, if you put it together and like, put together some kind of slideshow or something of it, right? And then put it on one of your social media platforms where people can just swipe through at their leisure. More people would watch that than want to sit in your living room and watch your trip.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty funny. Instagram slideshow.
So that was my thought on that. But yes, chocolate. I like milk chocolate
Preferably.
This month's going well for me.
So it's been well.
Yeah. Been pretty. I've been working out ish. Cleaned up my diet a bunch. I've been trying to get to sleep earlier. Just the normal things. I have not done any of the reading that they're supposed to do 500 pages of reading. That part. So part of the Sober October for this year.
Okay.
Was rather than do a competition like last year where they almost died. Like Joe Rogan was pissing like dark brown because he was so dehydrated. He thought he had like a kidney infection or
from what?
From working out so hard that he wasn't hydrated properly.
Oh my god!
Right. So, and of course that's him. That's never been me. Highly unlikely ever will be me. But rather than doing that kind of thing, they're just doing 10 classes where it's something they haven't done before. So, like Bert, because everybody's on tour. Bert, when he was in Florida, he did spearfishing off the coast of Florida. He did some like some Daytona racing thing.
Oh, rich people stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like on day 1 or day 2, I want to say it was Joe Rogan, and you would have loved this. If you pull up the Instagram, you can look at it. Go to Rogan's Instagram. Rogan and Tom both went to this the tactical firing range where they trained Keanu Reeves for John Wick. Did we talk about that? Did we see
Taron?
Yes, yeah, Taron something.
Taron Butler or something.
Yeah, scroll. And I mean, it's gonna be down a little bit. But,
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, but they were doing the same sort of tactical firing range stuff.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, those are them. That and that one.
Damn.
That's not YouTube, so you can play that if you want. It's up to you.
Damn, it's just gonna make me want to go shooting.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought of you immediately.
Oh my god. Yeah, this dude trains every actor and all that shit to shoot. It's kind of wild. He did the John Wick. I'm gonna run on that Glock. Get it, Rogue.
And then Tom does it after this one, and I guess they did really well. So then, of course, Bert sees it and goes, "Oh, I want to do it." So then Bert goes and does it. And of course, at the end of his, takes his shirt off and then turns it into a promo for Body Shots World Tour.
Oh my God.
He was just here Saturday. I heard the show was pretty good. I was gonna go, but I couldn't.
I wonder how he like got on. I wonder how much this dude charges.
I don't know. It's probably not cheap, but
No,
the thing is, they were saying is like all these people that are with him are like world class shooters themselves. So a couple of them are like LAPD.
Yeah, they're
and
all
like marksman
crazy,
experts and stuff.
awesome professional shooters.
Yeah.
Shooting a 9mm.
So you're trying to convince me with the John Wick thing with the Keanu Reeves. I'm like, oh, it seems cool. I'm like, now I see these guys do it. I want to do it. Let's do it. Let's go to California.
We don't even need to go to California. Oh, yeah, we do. No, we don't.
No, but like, are there places that are set up like that here?
Yes.
Where like there's like the sort of tactical.
Not as cool as this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, whatever.
Hopefully nobody like of that nature listens, because it's actually funny you bring this up. The Buffalo shooting scene, like, probably is all shitty old dudes. I don't know what else to say. Like,
well, I feel that in a blue state like this, most people our age and younger are leaning a bit too left to like firearms. In the very urban areas, in the city centers, you go 20 minutes outside to anywhere that's got a pickup truck in a driveway and it's got maybe a few acres. That person owns a rifle, probably. You know what I mean?
It's nothing like the Arizona shooting scene or the California shooting scene or anything like that. It's just all like older dudes. I don't know, like those New Balance rocking shoes dudes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Dude, I have New Balance. You call me old?
No, not that.
That's when you go, whatever, boomer.
But do you know
that's a whole thing on TikTok, where anyone who disagrees with anything super left is a boomer. If they're just like, hey, kids who are 14, stop dancing mostly naked on TikTok. It's not okay. It's not all right. And people, whatever, boomer.
Boomer. Shut up.
That's when they're like, I'm 25. What do you mean, boomer?
Right.
But the scene's just not.
It's not. It's just all like, how can I explain it? Like, it's like the dudes that you see in like a fishing shop. I don't know, like
a Bass Pro. Like if we had a Bass Pro here.
Yeah, kind
of thing.
Just like a dude in like a khaki Carhartt sweater with work boots on.
Sure.
You know, it's just kind of, it's not as fun.
So it's particular to this area, though. You're saying, like, obviously there's other places in the country where you got dudes in their 30s with sleeves who, you know, are in are either in or are former band members of successful touring groups. They pull out their Glock that they just bought.
That's I was telling you, I wonder if we're allowed to name people, right?
I mean, we can't dead name anybody because that's really bad, but yeah.
Well, when I ran into my buddy John,
okay,
he recently started carrying too, and I was just like taken back by, he's like, yo, you posted that photo of your Glock? And I was like, yeah, I did. He's like, yo, I loved it. I have mine too. We should go shoot. And I was like, you shoot? And it was just like, holy shit, a dude my age who shoots and stuff like that, like who's into the same thing. I was like totally surprised by it. And like,
you would, if I had to pick, I mean, honestly, the cost, I don't know, the cost is probably similar. It's probably less for this. I would probably want to start, even though it's not the same, I would probably want to start with getting into archery.
Yeah, archery is just as sick.
Just
dude.
Because the discipline that they talk about, like that Rogan and Cam Haines and them talk about, just to do it. And John Dudley, I think that's Rogan's friend, who's like he was a former like Olympic level archery athlete guy. He was some kind of high level dude. He's a trainer now. He like trains people professionally.
Yeah,
he doesn't compete anymore, I don't think. But just, you know, Rogan's still shooting 100 arrows a day to stay sharp.
That's a beauty about archery too, is that you can just legit go in your fucking backyard.
Yeah,
if you really wanted to, and just
right. Like I see those posts from Cam Haines where he's like the end of his driveway and it's maybe like 40 yards to the back, you know, to his backyard right by his garage.
It's
and he's
so
got that,
sweet.
And he's still hitting bullseyes, and he's just, you know, you're hanging out, and there isn't the element of like you're hunting then, right? So like that's a different. Your body's more excited, your heart's like on, you know, the tension. That's why they like to use those triggers that you don't know when it's gonna go. Just like when you fire a rifle, you're supposed to just squeeze until it goes.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to know when it's going to go, I guess, is the idea.
For archery?
Yeah. Because as long as you're lined up and everything, because what's it called? Trigger,
I know what you're talking about.
Shit, what's it called?
It's like the bowling thing.
Right. It's like not itchy trigger finger, but like you're in your own head about what you're doing, and so you might jerk your hand or move something too much or whatever, and it will obviously heavily affect your shot.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know it's coming, but you should be lined up properly, then when it goes, you haven't affected it because you've overthought it.
I think
that's why they say with handguns you're not supposed to squeeze a handgun trigger. You're just supposed to pull the trigger.
Yeah, just a nice little.
Yeah. Whereas with a rifle, you are supposed to squeeze it. The only real firearm I've ever shot was a .22 rifle in Boy Scout camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actual.
Oh, and that's another thing, dude. I had been looking at .22 rifles. Some of these .22s, dude, are fucking awesome, man. Like,
it just always reminds me of that bit from Bill Burr when he's talking about, because I'm thinking about buying a gun. And he does the whole big, and he goes, a .22, basically you got to be throwing a jab while shooting him in the forehead to get it to break through his skin.
Dude, .22s are friggin' powerful, dude. Those ultimate survival ammunition / firearm in general is a .22.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell that to the bear.
Vast majority. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess a few well-placed .22s in the face to a bear, maybe.
It might piss him off. Maybe it'll deter him enough for you to be able to run, but don't try to climb a tree.
Nah.
Those motherfuckers are fast, and they can climb faster than you can imagine.
Hopefully I've never. Oh, there's a video. There's a dude riding a motorcycle through the jungle, and all of a sudden a fucking tiger is like running.
I've seen that.
Blast.
It's been all over the place.
Oh my god!
I've seen it everywhere.
Can you imagine just like, all right, I'm gonna go to work at Jackassers now, and you're walking into the mall, and all of a sudden a fucking tiger, a wild tiger.
It was some dude in India, I think. I think the guy was in India.
Yeah.
Because Rogan talked about it, but
that's just crazy.
So with the idea of Sober October and just doing things like 10 different classes outside of your, things you haven't tried before, and then there's you're supposed to read 500 pages, and there was something else too that was a component of it. Oh, in order for Bert to win, he has to get down to 205. And if he gets down to 205, then he gets the belt for a year.
Oh, that's cool.
If he doesn't, it just stays in Rogan's hands. But they didn't want to do the whole thing all over again, because it started off with, and they had the episode about it, like I think it was maybe on the first, was they all got together at Rogan Studio, and they said, what are the terms? What are we doing this year? I don't want to beat myself to death again. And they said, Bert, we started this a few years ago because we wanted to help our friend who's an alcoholic. And he's like, guys, come on. And Ari's like, he's like, I don't want to not drink because October's the best month to drink, and it's Halloween. I don't want to not. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. By the way, you didn't know. I know you don't know this. So leading up to this episode, so it was the end of last month, Ari had come to LA early to hang out with friends and stuff. He went and did Bert's podcast at Bert's house, where, while Bert didn't know, he dosed Bert with a dose of Molly.
I listened to this.
Did you listen to this?
I listened to this.
He dosed him with a dose of Molly, and
they were like,
so he drugged his friend, and everyone's like, dude, you can't do that. And like, they was really like, Bert's wife won't even talk to him, won't even talk to Ari. She's like, I'm never talking to that guy again. Apparently, he ultimately wrote some like really heartfelt like letter directly to Leanne saying, "Hey, I'm really sorry, blah blah blah. I never do anything to hurt Bert, But to not know and then have to get in and do his podcast, and he's tripping on Molly, and he's never done it before, and to get like, and I can't remember who it was in the room that said, "You wouldn't do that to Joe." He goes, "I would, 100% I'd do that to Joe. 100% I'd do that to Joe." And Joe's just like, "You could just ask me, and I'd do it with you, but you drugged your friend."
Right? That is so wild. I was actually at work, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Can you imagine that?"
So then they were doing Two Bears, One Cave, and they got Dr. Drew on the phone about something else, and then brought that up to him. And because of his position as a doctor, he's actually like required by law to divulge that, like to document it somehow or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I actually have to report this. And Bert's like, no, we're fucking around. It was a joke. All right, bye. And he hangs up.
Oh my God.
He's like, I don't need that.
Like, I gotta report this.
Yeah. It's like, it gets, that's fucking serious.
That sucks.
So
did he get in trouble or anything?
I mean, to my knowledge, no. He keeps getting torn apart. Like they keep referring to him as like Dr. Huxtable.
Oh no. Oh my God.
I mean, I don't mean them. I mean like everyone on the internet in the comment sections. Like even on his own Instagram, he puts up a post of they're using these Whoop bracelet bands that track all your shit.
Yeah.
And they connect to the app and they show you like your rest and your strain, your sleep and stuff. And he's just like, oh, I'm at the top of the leaderboard. It's like, all right, whatever you say, Dr. Huxtable. He's like, God damn it.
Well, dude,
you can't drug your friends, man. I
like,
mean, at least not people who are that high profile who can talk in front of 35 million people.
I mean, like, how would I explain? You know, when your parents are like, "Oh, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed," and you're like, "That's worse."
Right. No, it's worse than that. It's
like I just feel like when his wife being mad at him, he's like, "Fuck, I should have done it."
Yeah, like Liam was pissed at him. So,
well, yeah, man, I would be pissed too. Like,
sure, that's like, yeah, I would be angry. I'd be angry about that.
Like, I don't even think I would give you a pot cookie.
Because
I was like, this is a pot
I want to
cookie.
try this. I want to experience this. Fucking let me know. You know?
Speaking of pot cookies, I definitely got to make pot butter this weekend. Or not this weekend, this past month. It was probably the most fun I've had in a really long time. Making straight pot butter.
Just whipping up some pot butter in the kitchen?
Dude, it was awesome. I love smoking pot, but eating it, I was just happy. And I wanted to see if, like, you should definitely try it. I know you don't like talking about it.
From what Rogan and everyone else has said, it's a completely different high.
It's a very different
because
high.
Your liver processes it rather than your bloodstream in your lungs.
I'm not entirely too sure why when I eat it, when I ingest it, it doesn't really do anything for me. It's probably because I smoke habitually anyways, but
it should do something though, wouldn't you think? If it's a different high, if it's a different feeling, it's like a full body thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is definitely more of a full body thing, but I also think that we didn't use bud. We used the trimmings from the bud. A friend of mine had a super nice harvest this year, and it was the coolest shit I've seen in a very long time, but we did this butter, and we used trimmings instead of bud. And dude, I was like, am I stoned? I was like, I think I am stoned because I feel really good. I was very happy and like everything was just like flowing. I could feel like the vibe and like, I was just like, this is awesome. And I was like, I could eat it more often than smoke it. Oddly enough, I just think it's because I've been smoking for so long, but I had to eat like 5 or 6 of these cookies for it to like fucking work.
Jesus.
But,
well, I mean, I guess that's so it's been addressed a number of times for different people. When it comes to regulation of those things, specifically in edibles, you don't know how much THC or whatever is in the butter
that's
that you've
why I
made,
ate so many.
kind of thing. So it's like if you didn't make a super strong batch of it, then maybe it took more.
Yeah.
But the thing Rogan says, in one of his specials, he goes, "Yo, this weed out here in California is dangerous. It'll kill you."
Yeah.
He's like, I go into the place and the guy says, like, they got the gummy bears. He's like, how much should he eat? He goes, just a leg. Like, he was terrified. He's like, why would you make a whole bear? Because you don't know how much is in there,
But I swear, it doesn't matter if there's a shitload of pot in it or THC. It doesn't do anything for me. I think I've told this story before on here. We were in Denver, and I had got this crazy Rice Krispie treat. It was like the size of a normal Rice Krispie treat.
I think you mentioned this.
Fucking packed with THC. And like I was trying to like be quiet about it. We had a long drive, so I was like going through my bag and like the rustling of the bag. I was in the very back, and I opened it up. It made the noise or whatever, and I look up. Everybody's looking back at me, and they wanted a piece. And I was like, I just shoved the whole thing in my mouth.
Right, because
I didn't want to share it.
Whatever. Yeah, fuck that.
I don't care. I didn't want to share it. But I was awake and nothing happened, and I was just sitting there. I was like, dude, this was a fucking waste. But I think there's a difference between eating trimmed butter as opposed to eating bud butter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure. Yeah.
But I
mean, I can assume that there may be a difference because it's a different part of the plant, and so it might have a different level of THC.
It was just
I don't know from experience, but it's one of those. Oh yeah, of course. Well, I don't know, of course, but without, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of those like, well, it would make sense but I'm wrong about that kind of shit all the time.
And I was like trying to think, like I gave one to my coworker. I hope he's all right. I mean,
I was going to say your mom's friend who got you the job.
She ate some. She said she didn't feel anything. That would have
been funny though.
That's why I was like kind of confident, like that they wouldn't fuck people up, but they would give people a nice like. But the coworker that I gave it to doesn't smoke or anything like that. I was like, eat half of the cookie, right? I was like, eat half of it. I was like, wait 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I was like, if you're not feeling good, eat the rest of it. And he's like, well, what about my wife? I was like, your wife, tell her to cut the half in half.
Right.
And I was like, and then the same thing applies. If she's not feeling it, eat the other half of that half. And
right, but give it 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's not even 30 minutes. That's what I mean. Like,
because that's one of the things that Nick Swartzen said in his special from 10 years ago. He goes, if you're going to eat a pot cookie, just, they're not instant, okay? Just like have one, wait like 30 minutes, And he goes, and then there was another part where he followed up. He goes, oh yeah, bring pot brownies to a party, you're cool, but I bring crystal meth cupcakes and I'm the fucking weirdo.
Yeah, right. But my mom was telling me a story. They got a dude who's painting their house, and he said he was painting another person's house, and he said he was just running late. He was so hungry. He said there was like all these cookies on their table. He's like, so I just cut a little piece off. He's like, so I cut it. I made it nice and neat where it looked like. He's like, I just ate a little piece. And he's like, the next thing I know, I'm driving. He's like, and I'm fucking stoned. He's like, I can't. And I was just like explaining. I was like, don't start driving. Don't eat the whole thing because with edibles, it just shows up and smashes you in the face.
It hits everybody differently. I mean, each cookie from the same batch, depending on how the butter was made, can have a different level of THC in it.
Yeah, dude, I loved my fucking. It smelled amazing. It tasted awesome. Like it was just like, it gave the cookies like this almost artichoke taste, kind of. But it was just like. I don't know. It was just really good. I wish my mom didn't eat them all because I wanted to save a bunch for you and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, you were smoking all her cigarettes, so.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. That's another thing. I am trying so hard to quit smoking, and that's why I really want to try eating marijuana.
Just take like some out of the bag and eat it.
That is melted butter.
I didn't know why I wouldn't think it was green. I don't know why I thought, oh, it'll still look like cow's milk.
Cow's milk.
Cow's milk.
I wonder what happened to the actual frozen butter that we had. Dude, it smelled amazing. It was awesome. I had so much fun fucking
Doesn't that
making
process like create a lot of odor though? Like doesn't
Not really.
The whole place doesn't just smell like pot the whole time?
No. I was truly surprised. We just threw it in a crock pot. Recently deleted. Where is it? Oh, I don't have. Oh, there it is. There's a stick of butter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was awesome. Very fun.
Yeah.
Good times. But I am desperately trying to quit smoking cigarettes. I hate it. Like it's useless. It is useless. It's
the opposite of useless. It's not a wash. It's negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't do anything. Like the only thing it does for me is keeps me busy. And I was just talking about this last night with a friend of mine. Addiction shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be addicted to sex. Like addiction is something you are doing knowing the repercussions of what it's doing to your body, but you don't give a fuck. So like,
yeah, I think I'd agree with that sort of boiled down general statement about it. Sure, that makes sense.
I just, on my way here, I was like chain smoking, and I was like, dude, oh my God. I was somebody who's so high strung like myself. Like, how do we quit smoking cigarettes? Like people are just like cold turkey. Because
that's the funny thing. People like, especially in the restaurant industry, smoking is rampant, and people are like, I need to go outside for a cigarette. I need to calm down. Well, nicotine is what the fuck's the word?
Stimulant.
Thank you. It's a stimulant. I was going to say accelerant.
Yeah,
it's not that. But it's a stimulant. But it's the process of the ritual and the breathing. It's the breathing that actually calms you. You're focusing on the smoking.
You're focusing on, and you just get away. Like,
right. And again, I've never smoked with my asthma. I wouldn't even try it. I'm good with that. I'm fine. But I understand like the concept behind it. So that's why people go, but it's a stimulant. Well, if you've never tried it, like Rogan doesn't like smoking cigarettes at all. But every once in a while, when he's about to go on and do a set like the store, his friend Tony Hinchcliffe smokes cigarettes regularly. He'll smoke a cigarette because the nicotine in there is that it's stimulant. He goes, and all of a sudden I'm like, my brain's firing a little bit faster, and I'm a little bit quicker with the jokes and the response and stuff, and and it's a different thing entirely. When he goes, if I smoke a cigar, it's another monster altogether. And I'm just like, I'm not interested in any of that shit. I don't want mouth kits. Did you fucking see the story that Eddie Van Halen was being taken to some specialty hospital in I want to say in Paris for his mouth cancer coming back?
Shit, no.
Yeah, Matucci posted about it on Facebook last week. And everyone just kept saying, I'm not ready for this. I hope this isn't true. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. That's a weird, that's a phrase you would pick.
Mouth cancer.
Well, he had mouth cancer, or was it throat cancer? Throat cancer. maybe 15 years ago. And he
no idea.
They did the full thing, removed the tumor. He did all the, he must have done chemo probably, whatever. He did the full treatment. He'd been clear for years. And then I see this article posted that said that,
damn,
that he's going back. And of course you can't ever be sure what is true and what isn't anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize the source. It wasn't like the New York Times or Washington or anything. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a reputable thing. It wasn't, even BuzzFeed could have like 50% truth. So I didn't recognize the publication, but yeah, don't fuck around with tobacco, dude.
I can't help it. I just can't. Like, the problem is I love it, but I hate it at the same time. like I said, I'll probably get in trouble for this. Hopefully nobody at work listens, but I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna go get some coffee. He's like, yeah, go get some coffee. And my boss knows why I go get coffee. It's a nice drive. I get the fuck out of there and I smoke a cig. That like 8 minutes away smoking a cig does wonders for the next 7 hours. It's like so weird.
Really?
Like, I don't know. But on my way here, I was like, dude, I want to talk about how much I hate smoking cigarettes and how much I just want to quit. But I love them. I don't know how. And I also hate that it makes my friends smell too. Like, I'll be smoking a cigarette and then, like, say I'll smoke a cigarette around you, you come home reeking like cigarettes. I don't like that. I hate it.
That was always my thing about when I used to go to bars, when I was in my 20s regularly with friends and stuff, and I'd never smoked, but that was when you could still, like, you'd be in the pink.
Yeah.
You'd be at the pink, and it was a cloud as thick as a cumulonimbus. Like, sorry, being a nerd. And you're just walking through this. It took, after they made it, like, fully illegal in New York State, in all bars, restaurants, whatever, it still took 5-6 years before I went in there again and didn't smell cigarette smoke in that restaurant or in that bar. And it's not like they scoured it and cleaned it and went through with like a steaming.
Wait, we were talking about the pink though. They probably just didn't do anything. For
a while, they still let them do it, and then they got fined a couple times.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, like initially they're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do whatever, and like they got a couple fines that were kind of like, we're not gonna do this anymore.
Okay.
That's right. So they stopped it, but
there's some of like those like.
But I'd come home, and I mean, if it was, when I was with my parents or what whoever I was living with at the time, like, dude, you reek. I'm like, I know, and I didn't, and I don't. It's just all my friends I'm around, I know there's a lot of places in the country that still it's legal, and so anytime I travel, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, right, we're not in New York or California.
Yeah,
like those are the two that I know for sure. I think Washington D.C. also outlawed it. But there's still a lot of places that allow it.
Yeah,
so.
there are a lot of places. There's still a few spots in Buffalo that, like, what are those called? Like, the only way I can explain this, the original Flintstones? Not the cartoon, the good live action Spielberg Universal one with
John Goodman?
John Goodman.
The first, yes.
The only way when they're bowling and that they're, like, in that Moose Club or whatever.
Yeah. That's the Moose Lodge?
Yeah. The only way to explain this bar is it's like a Moose Lodge. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like that type of old Neanderthal type.
Well, there was a place on Sheridan called, I think it was called Alternative Brews, that was grandfathered in as a cigar bar, but that place has been, it was sold, I don't usually drive down the street, but I saw it the other day. It was being gutted and turned into some kind of medical facility. So they closed the bar, whatever.
Well, that's kind of
somebody
funny.
bought it sometime later, probably a year later, I think, and then they're gutting it down to stud and doing it. But I'm like, that was a cigar bar for years. You don't think you should have just torn torn it down to the ground and nothing, just built from the ground up? Like that surviving structure was worth it enough to, you know what I mean? I can't imagine they were able to get the smell out of that, but I guess you can.
They did.
But I went there a couple times. My aunt and uncle used to frequent there, and I went there once. And I was just like, sitting in this cloud of awful. And I'm like, oh, this is, and so you could smoke cigarettes in there too because it was a cigar bar. It was the only one. It was like one of two, I think. And I don't even know what the other place is, but I don't know. It's just always been really off-putting to me. It's always been.
It is. I don't like it at all. I remember being a kid back in the day and like going to bed and like being able to smell the smoke from my grandfather and stuff for having people like, and I would just smell it and not be able to sleep. And now I fucking smoke. And the problem is when you quit, when you're, I don't know if I could speak for others, is that when you go a couple of weeks, when you try to quit, cigarettes smell amazing. Like they just smell so good, and you're like, oh, my my God.
I've had exes who smoked when they met me and then quit within some amount of time after getting together, and then it would be like a year later and they go, oh my God, that smells so good. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. That smells like death to me.
No,
But
it smells awesome.
I guess it's just, it's all in the mentality.
When you smoke it and you get that first like, and then you quit and then you're like, shit, all the time, and then you see somebody smoking a cigarette and you can smell it like a mile away and you're like, man.
So with Molly, which is basically acid, right? It's a concentrated form. Isn't that the concentrated form of acid?
I have no idea. I've actually never done Molly or anything like that.
It's like MDMA. Isn't that the core component of it?
I have no idea.
Well, I think that's what it is, or is it RPT? Fucking, I don't know my shit, Joe. I'm sorry. They were saying like in some of those hallucinogenics or the psychoactive drugs that are along that line, that taking them can actually it unlocks something where it allows you to battle things but it allows you to battle things like addiction, and in particular, Molly is one of those things. I guess if I'm not mistaken, here's what I've recapped, because again I follow all these guys. It's the 22nd today. Watching through everything, I feel like Bert, when he was asked about how he's doing, and maybe it was the first week, they do every Monday, the Two Bears One Cave comes out, and his best friend is Tom Segura. So Tom's like, how are you doing with the sober stuff? And he goes, you know what? Honestly, I've been fine. I haven't, desired to drink it all or anything. He goes, I honestly think I swear, and I could be wrong, that he said, I think it might have been honestly the Molly, because like whatever the drug is that's in there is a thing that can help people fight addictive behaviors. And it sort of opens you up to understand what it is about the addiction without really thinking about it. Like you get okay. All right, I think I get all right, yeah, I'm good. I don't know if that's the case or not.
Should I try it?
That's the thing with the shit not being legal, is you can never trust the source.
No,
even if you know the guy and you trust the source, you still can't trust the source, because he doesn't know the people 10 people up that had the guy that had Walter White fucking make it, and maybe it was Jesse that one week, and maybe he was off because he was on meth himself. You don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I've always been interested in that, like ayahuasca, which is not is it ayahuasca? Yeah, ayahuasca, which is not it's completely illegal in this country, I believe. I think that's the thing that people do. You either have to go to like South America or there's a couple places in Africa. And I say, Africa. I forget how massive that continent is. You could fit almost all the rest of the continents into the size of Africa. We dwarf it on maps. It's massive. Cool. But I guess there's a place there in particular where they have like a shaman have you do this journey. I think is it like 48 hours once you take it that you have to go through this? But it's something about going through this process, taking ayahuasca, that helps people break addiction. I think it was a fighter who was a friend of Joe's who got hooked on opiates because of a surgery he'd had. And it was bad. It was really bad. And he had gone to Africa. Or is he the one that went to South America and then opened up a clinic? I think that might be what happened. I think he went to South America and did ayahuasca under the stewardship of some kind of shaman. And again, they're not medical professionals, but you're not going to trip balls so hard that they can't help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you get violently ill, you throw up and stuff, but you basically cleanse. And there's something that happens in your brain that with ayahuasca specifically that alleviates the need for whatever that addiction is, or addiction in general. And that there have been a number of people who've been helped by it. And I think this particular fighter, he was either a fighter or a soldier. I can't remember. He might have been a Marine or something. I can't remember now. Joe has so many fucking friends that are elite, ridiculous human beings, who then went down into that area and opened up his own clinic to do this for people.
Oh, that's wild.
So, I mean, it depends on the level of, just how bad your addiction is and what it is. But like the thing is because most of these things are Schedule I in this country, you can't even get clinical trials or scientists in medical facilities to be able to do tests on them to see what the actual effects are of these things, because they're all so heavily not even regulated. They're so fucking illegal. For cocaine to be Schedule II, because it does have a medicinal purpose, there are medications that are made from cocaine. It's Schedule II. Cacao. Different. I think it's different, yeah? Isn't it?
Isn't it made from the cocoa plant?
Is it all the same shit?
I don't know.
All from the same thing? the reason that's that being illegal or being Schedule 2, but marijuana Schedule 1 federally still.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking insane.
Well, it's definitely super decriminalized in New York. So
Yeah. I texted you about that. I was surprised you didn't know. So
I did not know.
I little baby steps.
Yeah.
Did you ever see What About Bob?
No, I've never seen that.
You've never seen What About Bob?
Nope. That's with John Malkovich, right?
No. Bill Murray. Where he's like, he has all the phobias. He thinks he's dying. He can't leave his house. He's like agoraphobic, a claustrophobic. He has every phobia, and it's
oh my god.
And it's what's his name from Jaws? Mr. Holland's Opus. The old guy.
I have no idea.
Come on, just go
About
real
Bob?
quick. 'Cause I feel like go. What About Bob? Dude, this is one of the best movies ever. It's fucking amazing. But one of the things is the doctor. Dr. Leo Marvin, who was played by...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, played by... come on. The guy with the beard. Why can't I think of his fucking name?
The guy from Jaws. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Please get me his name before I lose my mind. Richard Dreyfuss. Son of a bitch. He has this book that he wrote. I think it's called Baby Steps, and it's about how to overcome your fears and your whatever your phobias are that are causing these issues. And it's like baby steps. And so he's leaving the office. Says, "All right, Dr. Marvin, I'll see you in a couple months," because he just got him as a client, and now Dr. Marvin is with his family is going to Lake Winnipesaukee. Such a good movie. Go check if you haven't seen it. Get the fuck out of here and go check it out. It's so good.
I'll definitely watch it tonight.
But he's like, "All right, baby steps down the hallway, baby steps down the hallway, baby steps down the hallway," and then the elevator opens. And there's people in there. They're like waiting for him. They're like, "Come on." He's like, I'm gonna wait. You know what? Baby steps into the elevator. Baby steps into the elevator, and then the doors close, and you hear him go, "Ah!"
I need to see it.
It's so good.
Bill Murray is amazing.
Oh my god, it's one of his best. Honestly, such a great fucking movie. What's the year? Scroll back up to the top. I want to see what year that was. I should say what 91. Yeah, great movie. But the baby steps thing, and so that's. I don't know if that's how you overcome the stuff. I'll tell you that I've been, I've felt better. I've been clearer. I've been less.
Yeah.
I've been less angry. Been less irritable. Again, just changing diet, working out, and abstaining from things. But my well-known sweet tooth has gotten the better of me because. Just like you and your shredded abs and me and my giant gut, I'm eating ice cream almost every night.
And it's probably not good for you that I'm your friend too,
because I'll text him like, "Should I make this?" And he sends me a picture of what he made, and I'm like, "Well, I got to one up Tom. I can't let him have a better ice cream than me."
That's so funny.
So Sunday,
what did you do the one time? You made the 2 ice cream sandwiches and you put fucking peanut butter all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is so good.
That was like a desperate measure situation. On Sunday, I went to Becker Farm and I picked a bunch of apples and stuff. And I also went. Do you know where they have? You've been there, right?
Yeah.
They have the donuts, right? The fucking
I
awesome.
didn't know. Oh wait, yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you 100% you do. And I bought a bunch of the donuts and I gave one to my friend's son and we hung out, whatever. And then I had one left over last night. So bear in mind, I went Sunday. Last night was Monday. I had one left over, giving one away, which means I ate 4.
Oh, that's nothing, bro.
Throughout the day. So I had one left. So I heated it up in the microwave. It was one of the sugar crusted ones. And then I took a bunch of chocolate Panda Paws ice cream, put it on top.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely rubbing off on you. It is definitely my fault.
It was so bad. I mean, it was delicious, but I'm sitting there watching Two Bears, One Cave eating this huge bowl of ice cream.
Dude, I ate those cookies, right? That's how I knew they worked. I ate a ton of those cookies and I was fucking eating everything. Like after over time, I was like, I got stoned. I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good. I wasn't like stoned from smoking it. Like
right.
I get blunted and you're just like, don't feel like doing shit and lazy. I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. Dude, I made pasta. I ate the pasta. As soon as I finished eating the pasta, I made some Pop-Tarts. I'm eating the Pop-Tarts. I'm like, I want to make chocolate-covered Pringles. I finish eating the Pop-Tarts.
I saw the post about
I get
those.
in my car. I go get Pringles and melting chocolate. And what do? I make chocolate pretzel clusters covered with popcorn. So it's just like this whole wild thing. And like,
it'd be worse as us being friends if we were also roommates. And then
dude, it would be
like it'd be I would be 300 pounds instead of trying to get down to the 220.
But I was really like not sure how I felt about the chocolate covered pretzel popcorns. I was like, let's see. But when you let them sit instead of eating them like right away.
Oh yeah, you got to let that chocolate.
Oh
set.
my god! Dude,
yeah.
my mom was like, "These are amazing.
Yeah.
These are amazing."
Because then the salty pretzel.
It was so good. It was a really good.
Did you feel like the salt was well balanced with the chocolate?
Yes,
Good.
I
Well, because you did the popcorn too, and that's always got the salty butter stuff on it too. Okay.
That's why I felt I like the taste of popcorn, but I just wish it was just a little bit crunchier. I don't like the texture of it.
So when you layered it in with the
pretzels, and then I get them to stick together with the chocolate, so it was like 2 pieces of popcorn fit perfectly into the holes in the little pretzel.
And
it was just awesome, dude. It was awesome. And then I gave some to my friend Eric, and he was like, yeah, they weren't that good up until they were all gone. You know, like
yeah, these aren't that great.
But I was just like,
they're okay. I don't know.
My mom was all about it, and I was just like, shit. I was like, I'm gonna start covering more shit in chocolate. I was like, but my original idea was to go get chocolate covered Pringles and make that, because those are really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you dip half of it in the chocolate, and then
you let it set, and then you dip the other half.
Not even the other half, like the half chocolate, half the salt.
Oh,
dude,
okay, gotcha.
It just makes so perfect.
Half, because the whole thing would be too much.
It was way too sugary when I first did it,
Gotcha.
and then I did half of it, and the half was perfect. I love making shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm not a good cook, but I like to bake junk food.
Sure.
So does that count? Do you think women like that? Like,
So-
I don't cook, but I'll make you some fucking mean pretzel clusters.
I saw my friend Mare for the first time in like 4 years the other day at Wegmans. We ran into each other. We used to work together at Panos, and I literally hadn't seen her since I left. So it'd been at least 4 years. And one of my favorite things that I remember when we would work together is that she would bring in what she called fat kid treats, where she would like bake brownies and then bake like a layer of lemon bars and then bake like a layer of peanut butter something, and she would put that together and then do it with an Oreo covered in chocolate. She would make these things and then bring them in. I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, you know you want this shit. I'm like,
yeah.
well, yeah, I fucking want this shit.
Eat it. I'll give it. I'll eat it
She's
right
like,
now.
come on, fat kid treats. I'm like, man, we can't keep doing this. It's like a lurid affair. We can't keep doing this. Oh my God, what will my wife say?
I want to open up a fucking bakery called Fat Kid Treats. I'd probably get a lot of trouble, huh?
Somebody bitch about it today, but fuck them.
Fat Kid Treats.
Why not?
You're trying to go get some food? Yeah, where? Fat Kid.
What if you did it with a PH?
I know, it's got to be spelled F-A-T Kid.
What if it was a crossover Star Wars reference and it was Fett Kid Treats and it was Boba Fett, F-E-T-T Kid Treats?
That's pretty hilarious.
But it's like a Boba Fett helmet made out of like a chocolate cupcake that's covered in
I kind of like
chocolate. And then you just...
Fat Kids.
With
the Star Wars font.
I'm just trying. And then people are like, this isn't Star Wars related enough. Just call it Fat Kid Treats.
Fat Kid Treats.
Dude, that was some of the best stuff.
What else can I bake up? Huh.
I bought 3 bags of apples on Sunday, so I'm gonna have to make an apple crisp or something.
I don't like apple crisp. I don't like warm apples.
No? See, I dig it.
I don't like the soft apple. It's gross. It grosses me out.
Well, I mean, if you bake it too well, I don't know. It depends on, I guess, like, because if you don't bake it for too long, the apples can still be kind of crunchy a little bit.
I don't like a warm apple. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
really?
I don't
That's
like
weird.
That. I don't like it at all.
I love that shit.
It's like
I take a bowl.
Reminds me of a banana.
I take maybe like a quarter of a 9x13 pan, and then just 2 massive scoops of French vanilla ice cream.
Ooh.
A little whipped cream. If I want to be
crisp,
a real asshole, do a little bit of chocolate just because I have to have chocolate and everything.
Some cinnamon.
My parents brought me, again, from Paris, they brought me this chocolate bar that says, I don't know, it says different stuff on it. It's a milk chocolate bar. It's European chocolate, so it's 100% better than the U.S. U.S. chocolate's garbage. But I'll show you two before you leave. It's covered in gold dust. It actually has gold dust on it. And my mom said, it's gold dust. And I can only think of the wrestler gold dust.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came across.
I immediately thought of gold
That
dust.
is the first thing that crossed my mind.
You mean Dustin Rhodes?
This is the best thing chocolate bar I've
They sell
ever
those
had.
at Wegmans.
They sell this at Wegmans?
Yeah. You know those fucking I've showed you those Milka bars that I've shown you, the blue
For real?
ones? Yeah, in the same spot. It's in the aisle on Amherst Street, at least, in the aisle with like the Mexican chocolate and stuff, the Mexican stuff. Yeah, they have those. They have the Aero bars, and they definitely have those.
These are the best fucking bars in the world.
And I feel like I remember you saying that you really liked them, and that's what stood out. But I'm almost positive they have them there.
Wow.
Next time I'll go grab you some.
I need to go too.
I'm probably going tomorrow night to buy groceries for the kids. So
they're so good. I don't know why they got like this Twix Rice Krispie feel.
Yeah, they look cool.
Twix Rice Krispie. Can you even say that? Twix, Rice, Krispie, Snickers, feel.
Twix, Rice Krispie, Snickers feel.
I said Quispy.
What, Quispy? Is that why it's Quispy?
There was one time I walked into Mighty Taco and I couldn't say salsa and sour cream in the same sentence, and it was salsa sour cream. And I was like, oh my god.
I have salsa sour cream.
Sour cream.
And he's all 5'3". Oh, yeah, whatever you want. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
thank you. Fuck it, man. If you can do it, use it, I guess. Right?
Are you excited for Halloween? I am. I'm trick-or-treating this year.
I mean, I'm excited for my son to be like aware of what he's doing. Last year, he didn't,
Well, yeah.
we carried him around and we went house to house in his grandmother's neighborhood, and it's just like dressed as Mickey, and it was cute, but, he's not allowed to eat the candy, so Dad gets the chocolate.
I think the
and
neighborhood
eat it.
sucks to trick-or-treat in.
Which one? No, his other grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood sucks, dude.
Dude, that street, I mean, I grew up on that street, and we would go to all the adjacent streets, all the St. Clair, go down St. Clair and all the Dolphin and all that shit, because that's where kids lived. Nobody lived on Parker. Everybody on Parker were all people who built the houses when my grandparents built the house.
Yeah.
There was no kids on the street at the time.
No, there were. For the last 4 or 5 years we've gone there. It's never that good, and there's no kids around. There's nothing. And then I think this year we're gonna go to Lorna Lane, my old neighborhood across the pond.
Across the pond.
Because I don't know.
I always wanted to go to the rich neighborhood. It's usually like Williamsville or something, where they gave out the full-size candy bars.
Yes.
That's the fucking clutch thing to do.
My trick-or-treating career peaked in Cobblestone. What is that Clarence neighborhood? Cobblestone. No, that's the street name.
I don't know.
Something Lake, maybe? It's in Williamsville.
Okay.
What is it's a huge, gigantic neighborhood, like...
I don't know.
Fuck. Oh, I don't remember the name of the development, but it was like all like huge candy bars and shit like that, and we would just fucking crush it. And then there was the one year in North Buffalo with Fred.
Yeah.
And it was me, Anthony, and Fred, and some girl Anthony was seeing, and we went trick-or-treating, dude. Pillowcase. Smashed fucking North Buffalo.
Yeah.
Pillowcases to the full brim of candy. It was so heavy, we couldn't wait to get home.
How old were you when you did that?
I was like 12, 13.
Oh, okay, so you were 12, okay.
Like old enough to go out on my own, and but it was all of us. We went. Fred's mom wouldn't let him have his candy, so I got 2 pillowcases full of candy.
Why?
I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why.
He didn't even have braces at the time.
No.
He didn't get that till after I met you guys.
Yeah.
Shit. That's some cold shit.
Yeah, but we skipped school so much. Like when he would skip school, I'd skip school, and we'd just go over to each other's houses. But I had taken out all of the clothing. I had a 12-year-old kid, right? I had taken out all the clothing from my one drawer and dumped all the candy in the one drawer, and I had a drawer.
Oh my god, you had a candy drawer?
It was so funny because that candy lasted for like the whole year up until like the next summer. Do you know, there was so much fucking candy. It was.
How old were you the last time you went trick-or-treating as a person without a kid?
Last year.
Without a kid, though? Like you went by yourself without your kid?
Oh, no, but I went trick-or-treating with my child. I got candy as well.
Sketchy. No, I mean like high school, like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like that. Before you had your daughter, what was the last time you went trick-or-treating? Like how old were you?
Probably about 13, 14.
That's it?
Yeah, because then Cute started, and then everything went.
No, I guess so. Oh yeah, I guess so.
Downhill.
Were you? No. When? How old were you when I met you? Because you didn't start playing with us until a couple years after that. Or was I at Guitar Center?
You were at Guitar Center, like Cute. It took like 2.5, 3 years before Cute started during the GC Rat days. So like we were GC Rats.
Right. So you were like 15, 16.
Yeah, I turned 16 in Cute. I was like 15 when the band started, and then I was 16, and then because I had to get my license because we needed 4 drivers to tour that summer. So I was 16. I was 15 when the band started, and then...
So right before then's the last time you went trick-or-treating.
Yeah, and we didn't even go trick-or-treating. We ended up... I wish I could remember the
name of the neighborhood?
Yeah. Oh, it's just right there. It was at the top of my head, too. Oh, I can't remember the fucking development. But anyways, we wouldn't go trick or treating. The last time we went trick or treating, and then we got too old. We were too old to go. We were too cool. But the last time we actually celebrated Halloween, we would dress up and like stuff ourselves full of paper and like lay down like and pretend like we were dummies, and then people would walk up to us and we'd fucking scare the shit out of them. It was we did that for like it was so fun. We did that for hours.
I think the last time I went, me, Steve-O, and Scott were in our senior year, so I was 17. But with the help of my mom, thanks Mom, made a full Batman costume.
Oh man!
Like it's when I used to when Spencer's used to carry like cool stuff. I had an actual Batman mask. It was the actual fucking mask. I had it for years. I don't know whatever happened to it, but it was like $25, which was like 75, adjusted for inflation. But I had the real Batman mask, and like I made like the shirt with the emblem and stuff, and my mom helped me make up an actual like Batman cape, and I had like black sweatpants because fuck that shit, and I think I wore my steel toes, so I was like, so I looked like the guy in Dark Knight when they're all in the parking garage.
When he's got the catcher's thing on.
Yeah, and he's like, because I'm not wearing hockey pants. I'm that guy. I'm
the guy in hockey pants.
I'm the guy in hockey pants. What makes you any better than us? I'm not wearing hockey pants.
That's so stupid. You know what? Else line? Have you seen the new Spider-Man?
I haven't seen like the last 5 Marvel movies.
I'm gonna ruin it for you. I'm sorry. There's one line.
I haven't seen it. That's my fault.
It pisses me off. Like, he's like, it's like a peak. Do you know what I mean? It's like a character arc. Mm-hmm. And like, instead of calling it Spider Sense, he calls it his Peter Tingle. It's just so lame. And I was just like,
why in the fuck?
Yeah, like sure, like. He's in his
Peter
room.
Tingle makes it sound like a toddler who has to use the potty.
That's what I mean. Like, it's very weird. Like, all these new movies are very weird, and like, I feel like it's subliminal. It's a whole going down another rabbit hole thing that I don't want to get into.
I feel like that's something that Peter Griffin would say in a Spider-Man costume.
Yeah, dude. Like, I was like expecting like he's like getting ready for his class trip. He's going, and his aunt throws something at him, and it hits him in his face. He's like. Peter Parker, overwhelmed, going through puberty, teenager, right? His aunt throws something at him and hits him in his face. And she's like, oh, what about your Peter Tingle? What happened? Sure, that. Peter Tingle, cool. But there was like, he's battling the main guy. He's about to fight. He takes a deep breath. And it's like, he's in the Spider-Man costume. It's like that fucking part. And he goes, come on, Peter Tingle. Oh, I was like, oh
so
my
wait, it's supposed to be a callback to Aunt May saying that?
I don't know.
But she said it before then, right?
She said it like at the very, very, very beginning.
Then it's supposed to be a callback and it's supposed to be cute, and it's not cute. It's fucking stupid.
It was stupid. It would have made such better sense if he was like, come on, Spider Sense. That would have been the Peter Parker moment, like where he's not Peter Parker, he's fucking Spider-Man. And
while you didn't ruin anything about the movie for me, you made me hate the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a really cool flick. It's hilarious.
No, I'm sure I will see it at some point.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, I was really bummed about it.
Don't be fucking dumb. That's dumb.
People were like pissed about Avengers. There's a scene. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No.
I'm going to ruin it for you. I'm sorry. But there's a scene. I won't ruin it for you. But like, it all comes down to a rat walking over a keyboard, which turns the thing on and sends Ant-Man back into reality. Mm-hmm. And people were fucking pissed that it was a rat. They couldn't have come up with something better. And I was just like, I just think what they were trying to go for was everything comes down to everything, including a rat. Like everything is needed in the universe, including a rat.
Right.
But that Peter Tingle thing pissed me off really bad, and I was like, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, not a fan.
That's also irritating. I get it, for sure.
Like, he totally should have been like, come on, Spider Sense. That would have made a much better character arc than calling it Peter Tingle. Because now he still seems like a fucking,
Yeah, like a tool.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. I don't know. The way these movies are coming out nowadays, I'm just kind of over it. Avengers Endgame was enough for me.
I mean, the whole next arc, the whole next phase, it's a bunch of different...
New.
It's people... not that they're new, it's just they've been around for years, just they don't fucking matter. You've never heard of them.
No, I don't care about those.
But the thing is, if you look at the base of the entire Marvel, the MCU... You started with Iron Man, who was like a secondary character at best, who was fucking annoying and nobody liked. And you turn him into the goddamn leader. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the basis of the whole... other than the Ang Lee fucking Hulk movie, which... It was
The very, very first one, right?
was literally an abomination. Oh,
Right after those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man flicks, which are still my favorite Spider-Man flicks.
Yeah, I didn't mind Andrew Garfield. I didn't mind him.
I didn't mind the Andrew Garfield
I didn't
one
mind
either.
him, and I liked Dennis Leary as her dad.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I did like that. I just because I also like him as an actor, as a comedian, but I liked that movement. Irish cop, really? That makes sense in New York. That means he's perfect. But I just so and Guardians of the Galaxy. They were, again, like a tertiary line. They was like not super well known, but you put enough star power behind it and you write it really well. There we go. You write it really well and you put some really great people behind making it. You turn it into another leader for the whole thing. Another thing that people call out all the time about this whole MCU is that, the Hulk's part of the Avengers the entire time. As far as I've seen in the history, Hulk is part of the Avengers on their initial forming and then immediately leaves after their first battle. And there's many, many battles where the Avengers are fighting the Hulk throughout the rest of time.
Fighting the Hulk?
Yes, fighting against him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. From what, yeah.
We all got seasons.
What?
All got seasons.
So... they've done what they've needed to do here and there to manipulate things into the. I mean, they've done a great job with it.
Yeah.
And if you're not a person who was a huge fan of the comic books in general, or even like a moderate fan, you might not know that, so it doesn't matter to you because as long as the movies are good, then you're cool with it.
Also, I'm checking movie tickets because
Go on.
This is upsetting. This is so upsetting to me that this happened to my card. Because I have been desperately waiting for Star Wars tickets, and I thought I had some time, and unable to process. I had it right open and ready to go last night, and because of the thing with my card, I was like, I had them, Star Wars tickets, but no.
When does it come out? This weekend?
December 19th.
Oh, December 19th. So they're doing pre-sale already?
Yeah,
Wow.
all sold out already. I got the reminder. It was sick, and I remembered that my card was locked, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I didn't want to use my other. I just don't feel like fucking with it because but it's just so aggravating. So I'm pretty pissed.
Jesus.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna be stuck. I've seen every single Star Wars in the movie theater except for this one.
Sounds like when you go home, you need to find some of that pot butter. Just
I don't have any more. My mom ate all the cookies.
But even the butter that was frozen in the freezer?
Yeah, I took a full stick of butter.
Oh, that's all that made was a full stick?
No, it made 4, but I just took one because it was my friend and I who made it, and then he just gave me the one because I helped him.
Gotcha.
It was cool.
Right, because it was his crop or whatever. So
Yeah.
you were just hanging out. You were the chemist.
Yeah, he needed help trimming, which is the most fucking annoying thing in the world. I thought it would be fun, but I was like, no, fuck this.
No, this is dumb. That's why they make a machine for it. That's not legal in the state yet, but it will be someday.
But it was funny sitting there trimming and then realizing that we can make more shit from all this stuff. It was cool. We put it in like the crock pot and let it sit for 2 hours. And it was all like nice and smelled good. Because it smelled like butter and cooked pot, so it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, huh.
Like if you walked into a nice bake shop that people were stoners that ran it?
Yeah, but it wasn't that or powerful of aroma.
No.
But like when you smell it, it was just like that warm butter feeling with like, because you need to cook the pot for it to like bake into the butter.
Right, to diffuse into the
yeah. So like to answer your question before, it doesn't reek, but it smells really good. Like I don't know.
I mean, it's not odorless, but it's not like
it's not overbearing.
Gotcha.
But now we can start talking about the Star Wars thing. I'm actually really upset about it. I wanted Star Wars tickets really bad. I was looking forward to that. I thought I had some time.
I didn't see the last movie.
Dude, have you seen any damn movies?
I go back to the same stuff. It's a problem that I was telling somebody the other day. Like I used to be able to easily sit through a 2-3 hour movie, and now my attention span is so short just because of what I go back to on a regular basis. It's like the other night I started watching. There's 3 Tom Segura specials on Netflix, and I started watching the oldest one, and I got maybe 20 minutes in and went, this is good, but it's not as good as I remember. And it's not his fault. I feel like this crowd kind of sucks. And this was when he was still just kind of really breaking through. He's been doing it for 18 years. If this was 2014, that's math. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 5 years ago, right? So right before he and Bert started to really crest because of Joe Rogan and them doing the weight loss challenge, which was the thing that he addressed after the next one. So I'm watching it, and I remember him talking about, I think he recorded that for Comedy Central, and then Netflix bought it. And I remember him telling somebody who was talking about doing their own special, this is maybe a year ago, that like Comedy Central's like, oh, it's really cool. Like, you know, they'll give you a hot room. It's the you know, people that come in, they're good. Like they have somebody come in and warm everybody up. So they're, you know, the place it's good and it's nice, but it's not the same. And then in the next one, in the 2016 special, the crowd seemed to be a bit more familiar with him. And then last year's special, actually, I think it came out this year. Yeah, because it's almost the end of 2019. Disgraceful. You could tell everybody in that room was a fan of his. You could tell everybody in that room, clamored to buy fucking tickets, like sold their soul, like, you know, gave their babysitter an extra $100 to watch the kids. Like it was his fan base, and you could totally fucking tell the difference in the room.
Yeah.
And his material, you know, just as strong. I think his delivery, while it was strong to begin with, has only gotten stronger. But when you know, the difference between a room that's there to see you and a room that, you know, that isn't, you know, and then, you know, let's scale that up now. Let's go to the first handful of Kevin Hart specials where he's in a larger theater. It's pretty funny. And say 1,200 seats. Pretty funny. And then he does the next one. It's maybe 2,000 seats. Pretty funny. There's the next one. It's around 3,000 seats, and fucking Shaq and Dwayne Wade are there. And he's talking, you know, he's calling them out something. He said some joke about the eating ass face. Like, look it up. It's hysterical. And then he scales up to the next one, and it's a bigger theater. And then he fucking does the Eagles Stadium. It was like 54,000 people.
Jeez.
And then this last one that he did, I can't remember what it's called. Irresponsible. He did at the O2 Arena in England.
England, yeah.
Yeah. In London. And then I think it's like 25,000, which is still a lot of fucking people. But you'd see the difference in the way that granted, you're going over time too, so they're becoming better at their craft as they're going along, but you see the way that they run a room that's smaller versus you got to scale it up to 54,000 people.
Yeah.
He had pyrotechnics on stage. He's like, show these motherfuckers how the fire goes off, and he throws his hand down and boom, big fucking flames shoot out from the stage.
God,
and he's huge, you know, he's at the one end of the stadium. He's got huge monitors behind him so you can see him.
I want to be a fucking comedian.
Because of 54,000 people watching you.
DJ.
That's fucking crazy. Well, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. You want to get Slip Molly, definitely be a DJ.
I'll definitely be a DJ.
But it just, you got to scale it up. And so you look at the kind of things that they're talking about and the way they deliver it, and there's definitely is a difference between that and a smaller club.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen comics who are big comics murder small rooms with stuff that you probably won't see them mostly do in a larger theater, especially for a special.
As a musician, I think like a sold the fuck out 1,500 cap room is way more fun playing than a sold out arena. Like, I don't know why.
I guess it depends on your level of stardom and if they're there for you or not. I remember Henry Rollins talking about how Rollins Band did a small stint. They actually, I think they one time at a big arena, like 20,000 people, open for Ozzy, right? So they get up there and they're doing their thing, and he's just like, and he goes, I'm doing the thing that I hate everyone for. How's it going, Minneapolis? Like, he's not the guy to do that. Yeah. Whatever city it was, is like, all right, guys, this is Sim Kane Andre. He doesn't do that. They never do that shit. So he's pandering to the crowd. He goes, and everyone's like, right? The crowd's fucking loud. It's crazy. You figure, man, this is crazy. This is what it's like to play an arena. He goes, they step off. Ozzy's shit gets pulled out, whatever. The band starts to play, and then Ozzy steps on stage, and he goes, it was like listening to a vacuum cleaner and then listening to a 747. Yeah. The difference in volume for Ozzy, he goes, oh, nobody gave a fuck that we were there. Like, that was just like, oh, hey,
yeah, that's
cool,
how
good job for you. And it's like, oh, just like 25,000 people going fucking crazy. That's Ozzy. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, there's like a 4-band bill, right? The first 3 bands, or I should say the first 2 bands are always quieter than the last 2. Mm-hmm. Always. And
sure. Your headliner, you want to be the one that, you know, typically is the draw.
That's super funny. But yeah, too, another thing that's really funny is like the opening band will play, and then the headliner band will play, and then it's like everybody pushes. It's like the sea of...
Yeah.
However, opposite in England, when you play a gigantic fucking show in England, it's not like... You know what I mean? Like, people are up here. It's like everybody is in England is involved. So, like... The sea of people pushes forward, they're all jumping, and all the people who are sitting down, they're all jumping.
Yeah.
Like, it's total different vibe in England and stuff like that.
I think one, probably because you're an import, right?
Yeah.
But two, like, I feel like we're spoiled in this fucking country.
Yeah, people are like, oh, he doesn't look that good, so I don't like the band.
It's like a regular thing in the Buffalo scene, and when I say scene, I just mean the music scene in general. Anybody who comes here, if it's a concert, if it's whatever, I can't tell you how many times I've been to a show, whether it was like a 250 seat place, like 250 capacity, or if I was somewhere and it was a few thousand people, other than ETID playing the Christmas show, because everyone's there for them. There's no carry through. There's no follow through for an ovation at all. People just they clap for a couple seconds and then they're like, all right, we're not done because the light's not on yet, but I'm just going to wait. They're going to come back out anyway. They're so bad. This town is fucking terrible. This town is fucking terrible about, you're there. You paid however much to see this band, right? Maybe it's, Thrice
have fun with us.
Thrice came through or whatever. The energy drops off. I don't know if it's just because we don't have enough sunlight or what the fuck it is, but like the energy just drops off in the room as soon as they step off, and they're coming back. You need to let them know that that you want them to come back out. That's the point of an ovation, right? 24 concerts in the last 10 years I can think of where they're just like, all right, cool. All right, thanks guys. And they step off and the music hasn't started and the lights are still off. They're going to come back out. But you're not. It's obligatory. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be like.
They just know now. Everybody spoiled this. So
I don't know if it's in every other city. I just know that I've experienced it here too often, and it's been that way for 20 years. For as long as I remember, like actively going to concerts, you'd have somebody come in from out of town you were super excited to see, and the venue sold out, and it was sold out in a week, which is a big deal for a place like this, And just the reaction it's great while they're playing and stuff, but. At the end of it, we suck. And my brother has always backed me up on that. Like when we saw, the Smashing Pumpkins at the
Darien Lake.
No, when we saw them at
the Odd.
I think it was the Odd. Yeah, we saw Bush and
Fred,
No Doubt.
Fred was
Same
there
thing.
with the Odd.
Same thing. It's just like they finished that first set. They're going to come out and play their big hit for their encore or whatever, and it's like everyone's just kind of fucking standing around. 20 years ago, more than that, it was in high school. It's 25 years ago almost. I remember as far back as that, as people just being like, all right, we're just going to hang out, right? They're going to come back out. Like, there's just, this town has sucked about
Are
them.
they? Should they?
And it's just always annoyed the fuck out of me.
The Buffalo music scene is very weird. Like, very weird to me.
I feel like it's way more eclectic now. Like there used to be, you had the hardcore guys and then the punk kids and then the ska kids, and sometimes they'd have a show together and they'd collect toys for tots and stuff, but it's like, but each scene had its own kind of thing going, but it was a decent size.
Yeah.
And there was intermingling and stuff for sure between the bands and between the fans, but like, it was just a few different types.
This might be very like pompous or shitty of me to say, but I think our band kind of fucking destroyed the local scene.
In what way?
Everybody hated our band. And that was like...
Now, when you say everybody, you mean other musicians?
Other musicians,
other bands?
pretty much. But it was weird, like... Maybe it's because... How would you explain that? Like, I didn't... When... For instance, like right now, we're just hanging right now.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like playing shows for me. Like, it didn't really feel like anything. It didn't feel like our band was getting bigger. It just felt like an everyday thing. I was still playing drums and doing the same thing, except apparently instead of it being a local show, we were in a different state and those people were there to see us, but it still felt the same. It didn't feel any different.
So you were comfortable with it, which is good.
Not comfortable with it. Like, it didn't seem like anything to me. It just felt like a normal day in the life. Like, I didn't really understand that 15 people showing up to our show in Arkansas, Kansas was cool, Yeah. And then a year later when we'd go back, instead of it being 15, there were like 100 kids there. Like, it didn't register. That never registered. It just felt like the same. So when we came back, the local scene was super weird after being conscious of trying to pay attention to this stuff that I wasn't before. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I don't have the experience to speak from a perspective where I go, I get it. I can see that. I guess it depends on each person. I imagine that, at this age, I'd probably imagine that if I were to somehow magically fall into a situation similar to what happened to you, but now at 40, I'd be all too hyper aware of the growing and building, and I'd feel that much more pressure on myself to perform that much better.
Yeah.
And maybe even pander to what they wanted just to make sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because of social media. It's like looking at the likes and the follows and the comments. I mean, it's those numbers, those metrics, Gary Vee says this all the time. If that's what you're looking at and that's what you're going by, it's no wonder that your content sucks. Because all you're concentrating on that stuff. So you're like, well, what do I need to do to make another piece of content that they're going to like, randomly a TikToker who'll have 2,000 followers, a couple thousand views, and they'll have one piece that goes out, and that particular I was going to say Vine, that particular TikTok has 1.1 million views out of nowhere. And it's not even anything special, which is exactly how TikTok works. And they're like, oh my God, thank you guys so much for a million views. That's crazy. They gain like 3 followers. They got 1 million views on that one video, and nobody cares about the rest of the stuff they do, because then they're like, well, now I have to pander to these people. And then they try to do stuff that's outside of their comfort zone. Sometimes going viral is just that one thing that's going to happen. And if you're trying to go viral, it's harder to try to than to have it happen.
Oh my God. Who was I explaining this to? It's not that, maybe that's what, I never really worried about cute. I just played drums. Like, I didn't worry about anything. When I started worrying about shit, that's when things started like falling apart and kind of deteriorating. So like, I'm trying to adapt that.
But you also got to remember, you were 17, 16, 17, 18.
And a straight edge kid too, so I wasn't fucking stoned all the time. And
so you like, all right, I don't have to go to school and I can get to play drums and have fun, and I'm somehow still making money, and like, that's it. Cool. I can hang out with my friends. That's awesome. Like, that's really all that's on your radar at that age.
That's pretty much all that was on my radar, was like, how can I make this drum part sound cooler while being with my friends? It's just kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always enjoyed the smaller sold out shows as opposed to a huge sold out show. Because 9 times out of 10, if it's like an arena show, they're far away and they're just standing there looking up and
No, I get that. I mean, unless you're somebody, when you play, because you can sell 20,000 tickets, does that mean you should? Well, I mean, if that's the way you make money, then yeah, I guess. But if you could play a 5,000 person place instead, and everyone there is a rabid fan, and the whole room's moving when you're moving, like the 3,000, what is it, 25 to 3 that shows up for the ETID thing, everyone in that place on the balconies and stuff too are going nuts when that band's on stage.
Yeah.
And that, that's just them coming home. They tour all over the world, and people, they're loved all over the world.
They have a wild touring schedule.
They're constantly touring.
Always.
They tour more than comedians tour. Like, they tour constantly.
I would love to.
They're always out there.
Let me play drums for you guys. I would love it.
They're doing a new record right now.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Without me on drums, I probably wouldn't be able to keep up anyways.
You gotta learn their whole 8 record back catalog to know what they need.
It's really funny. I just because I think Red Boy is one of my favorite drummers. Like, it's easier to identify with his drum parts. Like, their new drummers all rock those like metal band blast beats and double pedals and stuff. I'm like,
I always thought that his stuff was so, like, I've told you, I saw them, I think it was maybe their second show at like a VFW, and I saw them just tear shit up. I mean, I was completely blown away by them. And then at the end of it, he had the full, like I said, the full Neil Peart fucking bar in front of him and something. He just trashed his set, and they're smashing stuff. And I'm like, all right, I mean, that's what you guys do. That's cool. I can't afford to smash my one guitar that I have. But I just remember being really impressed in general with the band, but specifically with him, and just not only just his playing, but then at the end, he's just like, I'm going to trash all this stuff. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of a douche move, but all right, bro. Like, that's how I felt about it. And then the subsequent records would come out with him on it, and I go, you can always tell, the difference between those records with him on it and anybody. I don't know any of the names of any of the other drummers that have drummed for them.
No, me neither.
I don't know any of them. And they're all ringers. They're all from some other band or some other thing. They're all heavy hitters.
The one, I think it was Norma Jean.
I think the guy was from Norma Jean. I think the second to last one. The one before this guy, I think, was. And then he ended up having to leave at the end of the tour, at the last of the thing, because of family or something, I think. For some reason.
Just get a drummer from Buffalo, guys.
But I don't know who any of those guys. I only know Mike. But you can tell the difference between the styles for sure.
Yeah.
And that does lend itself to how the songs sound. I always try to imagine what it might sound like with him on those records, and I can't. My brain doesn't work that way. But I definitely know it would be different. Things would have come out differently.
Yeah, it's all different. It's definitely a different feeling.
Just because of his, the style of play for him. So,
what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
It happens.
Probably gonna sell all my gear.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get out of the game.
No,
I haven't been in the game, dude. I'll probably keep my Les Paul and have that be the thing that I give to my son.
What's a good tubed small amp that's fucking loud that I could play a show with that's not a giant half cab or whatever the hell it is?
I mean, if you want it to be loud, it probably should be at least a 212, and then you're looking at least a 50 watt. It depends on the amp.
Can I just get like a tubed combo amp and it be loud enough?
You might not be able to find a tube one loud enough. That's a combo. You might. I don't know. I would try to find, like a JCM 900 combo. Those are real hard to find. There aren't a lot of them around.
Are they tubed? I don't know why I'm obsessed with tubed things. Yeah. I think that's because of you and my buddy Adrian.
I honestly think they sound better.
Yeah, they sound way better.
I love my Marshall.
Then when you let them warm up, dude,
yeah.
I like that. See, there's something about, I don't know what happened. It's that Nick Huber guitar.
What about it?
I wasn't jealous of guitar players. I just liked the idea of that being that's my drum set, but I could swap out a fucking snare drum and whatever. Like, that was your guitar. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was your thing. And then you'd get a different guitar. But even though that other guitar was your guitar, this was another different feeling guitar that was your guitar. And I'm like, maybe I'll get a China cymbal. You know, it's not. Was it?
I mean, it's not that dissimilar. You know, like if it's for you switching out, I'll switch out this snare or this head on the snare or the Ritchie ring or whatever. It's fucking Ritchie ring.
Ritchie ring.
It's the same as me switching out the pickups.
Yeah,
I love my Les Paul, but I think it sounds better with these Duncans in it. You know,
but that's for me. I can't. I feel like you can't really do that with drums. I don't know. Like,
I think the thing that's cool about drums, unlike amplifiers and guitars, is that they're completely customizable. For the most part, you can custom build your kit to be whatever the fuck you want, really.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's in that modular sense. You can't do that with most other instruments.
I feel like it's more fun collecting guitars than it is drums, though.
I mean, people are always way more impressed, I think, with a guitar collection than they are with a drum collection. Unless they walk into a room and you have 5 fucking kits stacked up and one setup too, and you're like, oh yeah, I got this, you know.
Yeah. At one point, it was actually like that, but there was like 6 drum sets in the house, and I was like, I don't fucking need these. I'm never going to play them again.
It's like Jared Dines. I've mentioned him before. He's the guy. He's a YouTuber that I've mentioned. I've mentioned him.
I don't know.
He's actually a really fantastic drummer, a pretty good singer, and a phenomenal guitar player, and he does all these different videos and stuff on YouTube. He recently did a video with some other guy from another band where they had these like 27 string guitars or some shit. It's called Gent. It's like DJENT, Gent. I think it's what it's called, and it's like just shred pentatonic stuff, but like there's like a metal core sounding like beat and stuff.
And
behind
12/7, something like that.
Some ridiculous timing. Yeah. I mean, he guest plays with Breaking Benjamins. I want to say it is. I think it's Breaking Benjamins. He guest plays with them pretty often. It's either them or somebody else, but he somewhat often.
The Nickelback of punk rock.
Sure, I wouldn't say they're punk rock at all.
The Nickelback.
The Nickelback of
rock and roll.
They're the Imagine Dragons of Nickelback.
I never liked Imagine Dragons.
Have you ever seen that meme though?
No.
It's like a relay race baton is being handed off to one person from the other, and the one hand says Nickelback, and it's handing it off to the person that says Imagine Dragons.
Oh my god! Well, who sings that Imagine Dragons song?
Imagine Dragons.
What song is that?
That's the name of the group. I don't know the name.
Is that Imagine Dragons?
I think so. Yeah. Who you think you are?
What was one of those bands? Those loud singing bands. Those like Irish bands.
Loud singing Irish bands?
Yeah.
You mean Dropkick Murphys?
Not Dropkick Murphys. That one other band. You know what I can't explain.
Flogging Molly?
Not Flogging Molly. Shit.
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
I can't stand it, though. It's like the same melody in every song, same tone in every song. There's always a banjo.
Do you mean Mumford & Sons?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
They're not Irish at all.
Whatever the fuck their band is, I cannot stand that.
That was
band.
just that first record. You know they went electric on the second one. They regret their name entirely. They regret, but when you have a name like Mumford & Sons, it kind of locks you into the style of music you played on that first record because it sounds like that.
Can sing real loud. You know what I'm talking about?
I guess.
It's just that like weird swung thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not for me. But they still sound the same. All their songs sound the same to me.
Next week I have something we're gonna do. It's gonna be a little bit different.
Hey, I have a question. I'm gonna interrupt you. Who wins in a fist fight, Sting or Phil Collins?
You've asked this. Now or in their prime?
In general.
Now or in their prime?
Can it be in general, or does it have to be now in their prime?
Different people.
In their prime.
In their prime, I'd still say Sting.
Yeah?
Although Phil Collins is a bit of a roughneck. Like, I bet you he could fucking throw hands. The problem is Phil Collins can't play drums anymore because he's got arthritis and shit. His hands are fucked up, which is why I asked. Now we're in there. Right.
Like they're like when they meet at the age. Do you know what I mean? Right before arthritis, right before old age, or like
when they meet, they're the same age.
Are they the same age?
They're like the same fucking age.
Okay.
They were Genesis was around at the same time as the Police. They were in their 20s at the time.
That's why I was asking. I was like, because I feel like those two are like this.
I'll say this:
one and the same, but
I know that Sting, because he's such a yoga guy, he's super flexible, but he's a peaceful person. But I know that Phil Collins has been in fucking bar fights where he's broken bottles of people's heads. I guarantee that's been a fucking real thing. So that's why funny. I said today or in their prime, because today Phil Collins can't hold a drumstick. That sucks.
Like, do you know what, like that pinnacle moment right before all that shit
where the cross vectors happen?
Like right at this point, instead of the cross, like they're just like right here,
right there.
I'm gonna go with Phil Collins because he played drums.
So you've got Sting has reach and he has flexibility. He's taller and he's lanky and he's strong because he does all that fucking yoga.
Okay.
But Phil Collins is strong because he played drums a lot. He's got the fast hands. I don't know. And then do we breaking into mentality of a person?
I've been asking everybody this question.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. With Sting, he's definitely on the side of like more of a spiritual person, and he's like, namaste and shit.
No, Sting has had enough at this point.
He's had enough. He's like,
he's like, fuck this.
Phil Collins, you have said enough shit. Not Phil Collins from Def Leppard. Phil Collins, you and I are fine. Phil Collins, you can fuck yourself.
That's what I think. They're just looking at each other, and he's like, you know what? I've had enough of this shit. It's time.
I guess it depends upon if they want to throw hands or if one trying. I'll tell you, if they go to lock up and Sting just gets him to hold him, I guarantee you that Sting could hold Phil and stop him from swinging, and they could get broken up before anything really happens.
Okay, well, we'll settle on that. Like, there's some shoving and pushing going on.
I mean, if you're talking about straight throwing hands, I don't know. I would probably, again, reach. Sting has reach, but Phil Collins might have the hook. You don't know.
You never know. You know
what I mean? You don't know.
Maybe we got to ask Rogan this.
He'd probably go, why the fuck would I care? That would be his response. What kind of stupid question is this?
But then he'd think about it later on and be like, who would win in a fight?
Imagine if I met him at an airport and I said, Joe Rogan, I got a question for you. You've waited your whole life to meet me. You've been such a fan all this time. You talk about me on your podcast constantly, and the question you're going to ask me is who would win in a fight?
Honestly,
it would be the question I'd probably ask now that Tom says that.
I had a moment like this. When I first met Mark Hoppus, I was like, oh my God, you made fun of my old band. And he's like, what was your old band? And I was like, Cute is what we aim at. And he's like, oh. And then
Cute is what we aim at?
Yeah. He's like, he was making fun of band names.
That's what he used to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, just the fact that Mark Hoppus, Father Mark Hoppus to me,
right,
made fun of my band name. Cool. Fuck yeah. That was all. That was
sure.
Huge.
I mean, in that respect, because clearly there was like the joking jab there. He didn't mean it. It didn't seem like he meant it from a place of venom and hatred.
No, he didn't mean it. And I hope he didn't think that I was coming off as like that, because like I took a picture with him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, can I take a picture? You made it from my old band. Blah 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 blah. And I walked away. And I remember I turned around and he was like looking at me weird. And I was like, shit, did he take that the wrong way? Because I was taking it like, oh my God, Mark Hoppus made fun of my band. That was cool. Like, I don't know.
You're probably, I don't know. It seems like, because he remembered it, right? When you said the name.
He definitely remembered it because he was like, oh, yeah. And it was like kind of funny. Like, I wasn't like pissed or anything like that.
You guys, you guys were enough of a name that you were at least on his radar at some point. Yeah. You met him prior. Didn't you guys meet him before?
No, I met Barker at Warped Tour because Cute won that like Battle of the Bands.
Didn't you guys sit like stage side while they played once?
Oh, that was during Cute years though. Like,
yeah.
They were on the Honda Civic and it was Fallout, the Academy is, and another Fueled by Ramen band. So it was more Fueled by Ramen bands than there was Blink bands or whatever. But Fred and I were standing, and it was like one of those moments where like I was watching him and then I watched him look at me, but like I just turned away to look at. Do you know what I'm talking about? It wasn't like he looked at me, but it was just kind of like the timing thing. But like, he turned around and he did like a double take, and like I could tell that he like recognized Fred and I. Yeah. And then that was it.
That's cool. Yeah. You're good. That was a good experience.
I hope so.
Meeting one of your heroes.
And then, but the Honda Civic tour, and then it was like between 5 and 7 years later that I met him at NAMM and said, I was like, you made fun of my old band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Right, but it's not like you guys dropped off so quickly. You were around for a while.
Yeah.
So,
This is gonna sound pompous again. Like, I had never experienced anything like that. Like, my buddy, our friend Chris was doing merch for the Academy and he's like, because he did merch for Cute, and then we were off, and then he hopped on the run with the Academy and then when the Academy was going to finish, and then we were going to go on because Academy was finishing. We were supposed to follow their run, and anyways, long story, but we went to that show at Darien Lake because of Chris, and when he was like, yo, come to merch, it was fucking wild. Like, I don't know, people were screaming, following Fred and I around and like just tapping us, and like it was just like
so that was like the height of,
it was like a fucking zoo, and we couldn't walk anywhere. Like, the Academy their security guards had to help Fred and I like get the fuck out, and
because you were also home.
Like that's right,
because that was the thing, you were home, so
and
it's like
their security guards, like, they knew about Q2, so like it was just like we were so young, and it was just like we were being mobbed, and like they were like, yo, okay, get out of the way for Academy
plus your 5'5".
Yeah.
So I mean, it feels a bit more.
It was definitely overwhelming,
for sure.
But that was really funny though. Mark doing that though, like that dude's so sick.
Yeah, their new. Don't they have a new record coming out?
But yeah, it's okay.
Is it out?
Yeah, it came out.
Did it?
Yeah, it was all right.
It's like me and movies and TV shows. Oh, the new season? Oh, they're on 7 seasons now? Like, that feels like, what the fuck going on? I'm watching Always Sunny season 5 again. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Have you seen any of the new seasons yet? Or the episodes?
I have one episode of the most recent season that's out already, that's on Hulu. The new one that's broadcasting now doesn't post up to Hulu until after I think the whole thing runs.
Oh, okay.
So the season that's on TV right now I have not seen.
I saw one episode.
But last season I only have one episode left to watch.
I don't even remember it. I don't remember it at all. But South Park has been airing, and then at midnight it shows up on Hulu.
I watched the first episode of the new season on Hulu. It's like it's really
he's a pod farmer. Randy Marsh is the best South Park character.
He is my favorite fucking character, hands down.
Me too.
Him, then Butters, and then I don't fucking care after that. Like, Randy is my absolute fucking favorite.
Cartman gets me. Like, there's a few moments, but Randy
when he was Lord.
Oh my god, dude, he's ridiculous.
When he was Lord, and Dad, why did you show your asshole to everyone on TV?
He's a pod farmer now.
He's in the bathroom. Lord, oh Lord, I am Lord. Lord, oh Lord, feeling good on a Wednesday.
I saw a picture. It's his promo shot where he's got the wig on, and he's just like,
but he still has the mustache.
Yeah,
he still has the mustache.
Nobody knows it's him.
And Iggy Azalea's ass is like the size of a blimp.
It is ridiculous.
And her and whoever were fighting on the stage.
Are you a Family Guy fan or a South Park fan?
Both.
Yeah?
Both. Yeah. Well, let's wrap with this because we're getting long. It was recently asked, not of myself, but on another show I listened to, if you are a bigger fan of Family Guy or of South Park, which one is funnier? Which one is a bigger staple?
I personally think South Park. It's been out longer. I remember waiting. Do you remember when Buffalo didn't have Comedy Central? Mm-hmm. I remember waiting that Wednesday at midnight for Comedy Central, and it was a South Park episode that aired, and they were playing dodgeball against China, and China was taking some kind of drug to make them fucking powerful. Yeah, and that's just me. South Park all the way. Family Guy kind of gives me a headache, like the whole like
that doesn't bother me. I guess so. I've had laugh out loud moments with both shows, hands down, no question. But I feel like I have them more consistently per episode with Family Guy. I feel like there's jokes or like one-liners or throwaways or cutaways or something in Family Guy almost regularly, almost every episode that'll get me. Yeah. And with South Park, I always find them entertaining. The story arcs are great. When the whole story arc leading up to the 2016 election, the presidency, and with Garrison running, as Trump, and then what's her name, Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner,
Caitlyn Jenner.
is like his accomplice, and then like the principal Victoria, who had been fired, was part of the thing, and it's this whole conspiracy. Like, that was really funny to me. All that shit was really great, and I love it. I really appreciated it, and the whole like the pop farming thing, because they're in Colorado. Like, that's a good story arc too. But I don't always laugh myself silly. That hardly ever happens with anything. But I feel like I laugh out loud more consistently with Family Guy, honestly. Although I love both shows just for different reasons.
Yeah, I'm more of a South Park fan though, but I don't mind Family Guy. It's like a nice watch. I like their Star Wars spoofs and stuff like that when they do shit like that.
Yeah, when they redid the original trilogy.
Those are funny.
Yeah. I like I said, I love them both. I really do. But
I also feel like Family Guy plans a little better.
Well, because like everyone else, they do this shit 6 months out. It takes 6 months to animate that stuff because they send it all over to Korea to be hand animated.
Oh, that's crazy.
Whereas South Park turns an episode around in 6 days.
They're like, oh, deadline's in like 4 hours. We got to do this.
Like, have you seen that? It's a short documentary. It's called 6 Days to Air.
No.
Making of an episode of South Park.
No, that's amazing.
And Bill Hader was he writes with them sometimes. So in this particular, he fucking writes with them. So they start off and it's the two of them in the room and Bill's in there with them and they're doing brainstorming sessions for a particular episode and they're talking things through. It's really good. And then I guess like day 4 or 5, the power goes out for like 12 hours at their studio, so they can't actually they animate everything in house.
Yeah,
it's all done in the computers there, but they need to have the story done first, and then they go and they track the voices, and then they go and work on it from there. So that's why they turn an episode around in 6 days. It's
crazy. There's some episodes on YouTube, but they're not South Park episodes. Do you know what I mean? It's South Park characters, but it's not South Park episodes. You could see the construction paper that they made it for like a project.
Oh, really?
Like Cartman was always the one that was dying, and like it was just kind of weird how they did all that. It's wild.
The first few seasons were done with stop motion photography with the construction paper, and then once they invented powerful computers and developed those, that's what they started using to do it. So. I think it looks better now. It's more consistent. It's not as choppy, and I appreciate that. But they kept the idea of it still looks like you know what I mean. It still has that same sort of feel.
But they're like it's a little bit more upgraded.
Yeah, so
it's funny.
All right, let's. This is a long one. What time we got?
October 22nd.
That's 12:30.
12:30.
12:30. Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Let's go ahead and Tom, where can they find you?
On Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is... What is my Twitter
Tom
account?
is Alive?
Tom is Alive. And my Instagram account is just Tom Falcone.
Tom Falcone on Instagram. And Tom is Alive on Twitter. You can follow the show on Twitter at the Apartment A3 Pod. The website is Apartment A3 Pod as well, pod.com. All the episodes are available there. The ones on Apple are only the most recent 20, but you can always get them all from the website. Instagram is Nick Too Late for me. It is the Apartment A3 Podcast for the podcast. And you can find me at Nick Too Late 10 on TikTok. Come by and tell me how big of a piece of shit I am, because no one responds to me anyway, so I'd rather get something than nothing, because I need your love and affection and your hate. Tick tock, tick tock, tick. Ew.
What?
And we just went with a Madonna reference to close out the show?
Is it a Madonna song?
We should just end the podcast.